Alright, so in this last bit, we should be able to beat the last boss. I'm winging this a little bit. But we'll see. You know what's interesting? I'd never considered in all of my playthroughs of this game, this is kind of like a rehash of the siren scene early on in the game, where everyone's falling asleep. Galef is leading the pack and talking directly to Krill, who's leading the pack. I should go back and save, so if I die, I don't have to do this again. One second. Wait, can you even steal from him? No, it's not worth it. This will be interesting. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so we have Doom up top. Okay. That's not bad. That could have been way worse. Oh, we got 2 Dooms. That's no good. This has got to be over soon. Lord. Alright. Why does it loop back around like that? There's no call for that. Look, this is getting on my nerves. See, it loops around once, but not the second time. Okay, no more Almagas. As if that was the worst of my problems. Alright. Didn't you just get through saying that? How do we delta attack with only 2 people? Where do they do that at? Alright, this is where things get spicy. I don't think Krill has shell. Question is, how far off was I? It's supposed to be close to same HP when they go, but okay. Everyone lives, you're gonna smash it. Now would be a great time to be berserked, but I could have set that up a little differently. That's alright. We'll make it, I think. And that's game. Alright. There we go. Took a screenshot. We did it. So this is hands-free for the rest of the for the stream. I'm gonna pour myself a drink. Some fruit punch, apple, grape, and cherry. Flavored juice blend from concentrate with added ingredients. That's right, because I'm an adult. And that's what this channel is all about. So every time I play through this game, really any of the games that I've played through on this channel, I learn a lot about myself. Still, my inventory was thick. I was telling myself, well, maybe I'll need this, maybe I'll need that. I need to get more confident in just letting stuff go. In game and out of game, but certainly in game. I'm not sure whether chicken knife was really, like, on balance the best choice. It dealt more damage than my knight did. The Aegis shield worked out well, and we had good Almagest luck. Almagest can be really ugly. I expected that to be far worse than it was. I think if I had gone in at level 37, 38 like I was before, I think that would have been rough. Especially with that Twin Tania battle. That could have gone left very quickly. And also with all those elixirs too. You saw at the end I was just there, have an elixir. You lost a little bit of life, have an elixir. But since most of the fighting power was coming from the white mage, the battle focus was a bit weird. Because it was both the healer and the attacker. So I had to use the others as ancillary support. So I wasn't quite expecting that for the last battle, but also I think I did pretty good about not making as many mistakes. There were some reversals, but I'm telling you, the targeting system of Final Fantasy V is a bit frustrating. It's not always obvious when you press down, up, left, or right that it's going to move in the direction of what you think it would. For instance, there are some enemy patterns. Let's say there's 3 of them. Sometimes if one is like in the middle, one is up top, and one is behind, and we're talking about from right to left, okay? From right to left, it's middle, top, bottom. If you hit the left cursor, sometimes it will jump all the way to the back and then up to the top. Sometimes it'll jump to the top and then to the back. It just depends on the formation. I'm not sure what the rhyme or reason is for that. But in the last boss, Neo Exdeath, if you hit left, it will cycle all the way back around to the top, like a whole circle, instead of stopping at the last one. But if you run through it a second time, it won't go through a third time. You have to manually select after that. You can't just hold down. So if you see me reversing, a lot of times it's because of targeting, and the other times it's just because of me being an idiot with the menu selection, thinking that I gave it enough time to go to one selection or another, like accidentally fleeing the battle instead of going to the item screen or something like that. And ultimately what I'll do too, in regards to my donation and participation in Four Job Fiesta, the fundraiser, I will edit the description of this video, and if and when I put up a playlist for this, I will include where my donation monies have gone, because I don't want to be a complete curmudgeon and say, hey, I'm not participating in this at all. I'm only participating in spirit. Nobody's getting any of my money. I do want to contribute in some way. And I know I had thought about doing sort of a back-to-back trial of this challenge in my mind of Final Fantasy 1 classic style with job upgrades and play this all over again. I don't know if I want to spice it up and play something else before I play through again. I have almost another 40 days to participate in Four Job Fiesta while it's still going. So I could pick a different challenge and see where that goes. Lord knows if I do that, I will get Dancer. I always get Dancer. I can't remember the last time I got Samurai. You know what I just thought of too? It would be interesting for a warrior type to upgrade to Red Mage, since it would have a cutoff on the magic it could use. Just like you would expect from whatever the paladin type class is in Final Fantasy 1. So you would still have access to swords, you get the magic, and you flip back over. Just be a knight with the very weak magic. That sounds like garbage though. I mean, it would, at least there would be some additional healing capacity somewhere. And X magic, or W magic for that matter. So it wouldn't be a complete bomb. That could be fun. Give some more versatility to the knight. I really felt like the knight was dragging a bit until the Excalibur was unlocked. And then the monk was definitely lacking the whole time. I felt like the thief was almost more important and more effective in battle. It's a strange thing to say. But I think the most overpowered switch is going to be thief to ninja. Because you got two-handed, you have throwing skeins and other things. That would be very interesting. still don't know what white wizard should be. I don't want to give it time magic, even though that would be cool. That would also give it the ability to break rods. The only damaging type stuff it could do would be like gravity and comet, meteor. I mean, that's still cool though. It's been a long time since I played with a time mage. But is that appropriate for a white wizard though? Well, granted, I don't know. It does have the buffs the black mages don't have. Indeed. That does make some sense. White wizard or white mage to time mage. I still don't know about the warrior though. I want it to be as close to the original Final Fantasy as possible without making up weird rules about, you know, like if I made it white mage and that was, white magic was the secondary, to only be able to use up to level 3. Even if, you know, you have access to all the other magic, just pretend they don't exist, or only level up to that point, which if that's the case, like what if in one of these class changing options you would benefit greatly from having something later on down the skill tree, but if you just stop just because you finally reached that point. Like for using hunter for monk, my challenge to that is say, well, what if X hit was not the last stop on the train, right? So that would be my concern there. It's like, okay, fine, we got X hit, so do we just switch back to monk, or do we leave them like this, let them master the job? And the only other issue too is whether you have to stick with the final class or you can switch back, because there's going to be some equipment preferences. Like for instance, like with red mage not being able to equip shields, if I decide to go the route of warrior, can, you know, basically become a red mage, you know, then the question becomes, then what? You know, once you max out red mage, can you not switch back to knight so you can equip shields? Or do you have to choose between, you know, X magic and the equip shields option? That kind of strategizing is, I don't know, something to think about before I embark on that. I want the parameters set as it goes. I don't want to make it rules as we go. I learned that the hard way with the Spirit Animal Challenge for Final Fantasy VI. I definitely need to have the espers laid out basically on a chart before I start playing, because I was kind of making it up as I went, sort of trying to feel my way through it, which is cool. It's a nice experience, but it's got to be a pain in the butt to watch, number one, and number two, it just doesn't feel healthy as a practice. But I think I'm most of the way there with that, and I still have not tried out my my experiment for Final Fantasy Tactics using rules from this game as to what which zodiac sign is associated with which crystal, and that means you can only use a certain class or learn abilities from a certain class if you're from a certain zodiac sign with a certain elemental affiliation or affinity that matches the crystal in Final Fantasy V. I know that sounds convoluted, and it is, but the biggest challenge to that would be sharing experience and making sure that your job points are where they need to be so you can advance to the next level. Because if you don't get enough passive JP from your other party members as you're playing, you're never going to have enough to advance to whatever next class is associated with the crystal, which is kind of useless from that end. Also, I would associate Mystic Knight with Water Crystal, and also most of the Holy Knight type characters in Pharmacy Tactics are water signs. So they're already set out to be broken from the beginning, but that's fine. The lack of support abilities from other non exclusive crystal jobs will put a weird challenge on that. So for instance, like not everyone would be able to learn teleport, right? That would be only water types could learn teleport, because that's a summoner, and summoner associated with the water crystal. Things like that. Again, that's something I would definitely need to have set out on paper before I even embarked upon that. That would be an interesting thing to do. And now, what you could do is you could also lean into the job system from the perspective of the shop and the bar, right? So if you're going to send them out on missions, let's say they need to have a certain number of JP in order to advance to the next job that would otherwise be available, you wouldn't be playing as them, you wouldn't be leveling up as them in a battle or anything like that. You would just be sending them out on a mission. So you could conceivably use that to your advantage and get JP passively that way. It's just a thought. It's probably completely convoluted and would just make the game needlessly complicated, because it already is complicated, but there are also ways to make the game like beyond easy depending on how you're playing. So just like this, I mean, I think I could have stood to have grinded maybe a couple levels less, maybe stopped at 39 or 40. But Shell was very helpful with Almagest. I'm still confused about how we got Delta attacked with only 2 out of the 4 Neo Exdeath bodies in play, but that was weird. It's different. Well, we had a lot of good luck in that fight, I think. Like the only white hole, or maybe 1 out of the 2 white holes, completely missed. Almagest was very light on us. Grand Cross, we got a mini and 2 dooms. That could have been bad, but we got a dispel on Ferris, which was very nice, very nicely timed. So we had a lot of good luck, I think, in this run overall. I did have to manipulate things quite a bit to get some of the drops or steals that we were looking for, but I'm gonna have to set a rule for myself so that happens less often. I say maybe after X number of tries, if I still haven't gotten it, then move on with my life. Unless it's mission critical, I still have never tried playing Front Mission Gun Hazard. This track right here just sounds like it's straight out of that. I know the soundtrack, but never played the game. It's a very different sound for Uematsu. You hear some of it in Final Fantasy VII and some other games of his, but it really kind of shines both in this track as well as in Mission Gum Hazard. I need to give that a shot at some point. I think this stream is going to end at almost exactly at 60 minutes. And again, I appreciate y'all's patience. I did have to restart the run due to a computer failure, so anyone that's been tracking this and I had to retrack it, I apologize, but I hope it was worth it. I learned a lot on this run. I didn't know how this was going to work without access to black magic at all, but we handled the business. It could have been a lot worse. Also, I was afraid with the subject matter that led to this Four Job Fiesta that I would go all the way out on a limb. If you watched listened 2 streams ago, kind of went into detail about my opinion on abortion and when life begins, and what does it have to do with whether or not I would support Planned Parenthood with my own money and things like that. It's like an hour and a half long rant while I was grinding for this. But that turned out well as well. What's funny is I was going to go straight into that otherwise heavy topic, and one of my subscribers decided to pop in right as I was about to speak on that, and we started talking about something completely different. I think that was for the best. I remember when I was younger, because my mom is a certain kind of feminist, she used to say that men don't have anything to say about abortion because that's specifically a women's issue. And so anything they could add to the conversation would be supplemental at absolute best and never truly informative or authoritative. I obviously don't agree with that full scale and understand that perspective. But if you listen to that video, you'll understand that my perspective on abortion and when life begins or ends is not uniquely tied into the female experience, but the human experience in general. And I think you can come to a well-reasoned position on abortion and your own perspective on when life begins and ends and how you treat people, whether it's in the womb, outside the womb, thinking about your ancestors, thinking about the people that come down the line from you. I think that our focus on when life begins in the womb can be so hyper-focused that we miss that bigger picture. And at a certain level, yes, abortion is a women's issue, but what is a life and what is a life worth living and a life well lived, I think is a more general issue and a general concern that everyone should feel comfortable not just giving their own opinion on, but struggling with, whether it's privately or publicly. I think everyone has something to add to that conversation, and I think when you dive into that, you're more likely to get coherent and effective communication about what life is, what life means, and how we're supposed to move forward with that understanding. And I think abortion and abortion rights plays a part of that, but it should be the cart, not the horse. So that's one of the reasons I think that using Four Job Fiesta as a way to pump up Planned Parenthood is not the most responsible use of someone's time and money. But again, I'll be sure to put a link in and more information in the description of this video once I make a final decision about what entity I plan on supporting as a part of this run. But I will, I'll nevertheless, acknowledge that, the Supreme Court decision that turned abortion rights back over to the states instead of it being a federal issue is going to have a great impact on a lot of things, both for women's reproductive health and otherwise. And organizations that strive to piece all of that together and make that work for the greater good of men and women and children, and in a way that honors the people that came before us and sets a path for generations to come. If an organization is participating in that form of activity, that is where I would more than likely want to spend my time and money. I'm not sure that right now in this moment that Planned Parenthood is an example of that. It's not to say they don't do good things, but because of the charged political atmosphere of it all, I would be concerned that my funds may end up being used not necessarily for abortion per se, but in moving forward a conversation in an unhealthy way. So there's that. So we've tackled Fantasy 5 one more time. We've tackled abortion, and we've reached yet somehow another stage of adulthood. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you watching me grow, if you can put it that way, as I work my way through some of these games from my early childhood. Early childhood? No, I would say adolescence. Because even as an adult, I'm learning something new about these games. I've played these games so many times, so many ways. Still learning things. And if that's interesting to you, I appreciate you watching. I don't know what I'm doing next in terms of a stream. I don't feel confident in doing Final Fantasy 5 all over again, because that'll be my third Final Fantasy 5 run in like 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not burning out, but I can see myself burning out and want to prevent that. So I might switch up the game and do something a little different. But if this is at all interesting to you, make sure that you're subscribed, because I have no set schedule for streaming. It's just when I have a chance to. I work third shift, so sometimes I stream on my lunch break at 2 or 3 in the morning, and sometimes I just stream at random parts of the day. So if this is interesting to you at all, make sure that you're subscribed with notifications so you can see when that pops up. But I hope that you're well, and I hope that whatever your position is on abortion, whether you live inside the United States or not, whether you even know what Planned Parenthood is or what it does or why it does it, I hope that you're well. I hope that if you're not well, that you're on your way to getting there. And as always, I look forward to the next one. Thank you.